She's crafty, she gets around, she's crafty. She's always down, she's crafty. You know she's got it great. She's crafty, and she's just my type. She's crafty.
It wasn't that they were just white; they were dope.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yep.
And it was like, oh my god! So then,
and they're on stage in front of 20,000 people, so they're actually doing it in front of a lot of people as well.
Oh yeah, and they had Run DMC backing them,
Yep.
Basically co-signing for them.
Yeah.
And it was just, I mean, that's what made me think that it could actually be possible. I think it can be done.
I think everyone needs a confidant in their life, and sometimes that can be a parent or a brother or a best friend, and in the case for you it was Proof, someone who came through and saw you for whatever reason, your paths collided, and you met each other and you rapped at each other, and your life has never been the same ever since, neither was his, and for you, he was just early on in that part of your career, he was your confidence, wasn't he? He was the guy that he was the hand on your back pushing you to go.
Oh yeah, whenever I thought like, if ever there, Proof was the kind of person that I would go and play something for, and I would get immediately get basically the criticism that I needed. You know what I mean? He would tell me if something was whack, he would make fun of me for it, but he wouldn't do it in a mean way. He would we joke about it. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of how our relationship was. But when I did hit something, when I was onto something, he would tell me, and he'd be really adamant about it. You know what I mean? He would just be like, "Yo, people need to hear this." Whenever I'd make a demo tape, for years we did this. We swapped demo tapes back and forth, and we used to bump each other's stuff. But he would come over singing my stuff. He never really did it. It took years for him to do that. But then all of a sudden he started doing that, and it was he knows what's going on.
And then he took you down the hip hop shop, Mo Malone's, man, which is an important part of your life. I mean, I know there was a story in the book where you talk about your first rhyme experience in front of a crowd, which everyone's is going to be terrible. You're never going to get up there and smash the crowd apart. It's never going to happen. But you took a few years away from that, and then Proof was like, "Come on," dragged you down to the hip hop shop and got you on the mic again.
Yeah, well, he didn't physically drag me, but he told me, he basically said, come down here tomorrow. He had called me and told me, come down here tomorrow, try it out. There's going to be this battle going on or whatever. And something was going on down there. I'm not sure if it was, I think it was a battle. And he was telling me, basically, wait till most of the people clear out, after the battle, and rhyme, just, you ain't got to really battle nobody, just rhyme, and let people hear you rhyme. And if you don't like it, you ain't got to do it again. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I ended up calling work and telling them that I was going to be a little late.
Where were you working at the time? What were you doing?
Gilbert's Lodge. I was a chef. Nah, a short order cook or whatever, but
yeah.
I went down there, and I got, just from the few people there, it was I got this response. It was crazy.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
That was a turning point in my life. That's when I really, really dug down and got serious with everything, metaphorically, lyrically, paying attention to everything I said, and making sure everything was a punchline, because in rap, especially back then, everything was punchlines, metaphors, punchlines, and you were trying to get oohs and ahs from whoever was there.
Something that's missing to me now. I wish more rappers were coming out and actually ended their 4 bars with some power, as opposed to just a connection to the next 4.
Yeah, who just right offhand thinking about that, who's really good at that, is Ludacris.
Yeah,
putting those punchlines together and all that.
Yeah.
He does.
It's like stand-up comedy for me when I hear his records sometimes, because he has me laughing out loud.
Great at it though, it's when you hear it, it's just you're always waiting for what he's gonna say.
Whoa, don't slip up or get cut. Why not, man? I'm coming for that #1 spot. All right. Whoa. Rappers swearing they own tough. But I'm coming for that #1 spot. All right, man. Scheme, plot, say what? I'm coming for that #1 spot. Hey, keep it going, it won't stop. What you doing, man? I'm coming for that #1 spot.
So you hooked up with D12, and you've got strength in numbers. You've got some unity, and you found some rappers who believe in you, and you believe in them, and you have a crew. And Proof, I think Proof came up with the idea of everyone has an alias, and we'll call ourselves the Dirty Dozen. And then you need to do something very important. Everyone needs to do. You need to take a dump, and you need to go and sit on the toilet, have a bowel movement. And this is where divine inspiration strikes you.
Yeah. this is not a lie. I was sitting on the toilet, and I was just a lot of good material comes out of that. You know, I mean, you know. So that was my little moment of solitude there, and this name pops into my head like. You know, I was kind of skinny, and I was like, maybe it should be something slim. You know what I mean? And then, just for some reason, Slim Shady popped into my mind, and I just thought of 20 things to rhyme with it right off the bat. And I was like, this is it. I go in my little room, and I wipe my ass. You know,
it's important to get
once. And I went back in the room, and I was like, I just kept writing, and was like. That's when I wrote Just Don't Give a F.
Yeah.
And it started out.
Slim Shady, brain dead like Jim Brady.
Slim Shady, brain dead like Jim Brady.
So the imagery, the contextualization of who he was going to become as a character was already flowing to you very quickly.
Oh, yeah. I had already wrote, like, one thing that was... I didn't even have a name for it. It was just like this freestyle. It was just like Bizarre Gun on the track, and at the end of it, he said, "You have now witnessed a white boy on drugs." And it was like... Okay, well, maybe I'll do that, and I'll make that my thing, you know? And then it just kind of developed over, you know, the next couple of songs or whatever. And then it started, it was kind of an outlet for me to say, to be able to say things that I always wanted to, you know? Once I found that, it was like, okay, I got it. You know, this is what Proof wants. You know what I mean? And this is what it should be.
Yeah. Well, you know, we'd had these rappers who were white who'd come out and been lyrical and been brilliant in third base, and we'd had these rappers who had come out and been outrageous in a different way in the Beastie Boys, but we never had both. And that's what Slim kind of was when I first heard your character in Slim Shady. That's the punchline I've been missing in rap.
My name is what? Excuse me. My name is Slim Shady. Can I have the attention of the class for 1 second? My name is
So the tapes went out, you know, Infinite happened, and you're getting more into the Shady character, and there's an infamous pact between you and the other members of D12, which has been written about, which was that if one of us leaves and makes it, he comes back for the rest of us.
Oh yeah, that was kind of Proof's theory too. It was just like, you know, Proof was kind of on the verge of getting a deal at the time with Tommy Boy, and there was just, you know, there was this aura that felt like what we were doing was the right thing, and we felt like if we, you know, because we were all kind of making a name for ourselves on the local scene or whatever, and we all just felt like, well, you know, Proof kind of brought it to our attention, like, look, here's the deal. If we get a deal as a group, then we could be, you know, like a mini Wu-Tang or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, that was kind of his idea. And if one of us gets a deal, it'll just broaden our chances. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if somebody, let's say just somebody wanted to only sign Bizarre.
Yeah.
You know, then they would come back for us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's unity which held, you know, which you've held right through, and true to your word, you did. But in order to get to that point, to be that individual that broke out, there was an infamous connect between you and Dre. Was it a phone call?
The actual thing that happened with me and Dre, I'm gonna try to make this as quick of a story as possible. We had put out the Slim Shady EP, right? And it sold, I want to say, 250 copies. And basically, what happened was we only had, I think we had 500 pressed up, and it sold like 250. It was close to the 300 number. So Mark Bass, from the
producer and
producer at the time, he basically was putting the money into it, right? Well, we got this call from a guy in Vegas that said he wanted to buy 2,000 of those tapes. So Marky ended up putting like his house up for a third mortgage or something crazy, and it was like it's all or nothing. You know what I mean? Like all the marbles are going into this. So you know,
did it feel like that to you at the time? Was it like this is the make or break moment for me?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know,
back to a 9 to 5, right?
So yeah, I mean, plus if nothing had happened at that time, I probably would have still kept rapping, but would have broke my spirit so bad that I don't know how I'd even sound today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways, so this guy wants to buy this like 2,000 CDs and cassettes, I don't know, combined or each, I don't know, some crazy number to us at the time. So we go out there, and he got us a plane ticket out there, and we go out there, and I'm putting the stuff on consignment. Like, I'm going around in stores to Vegas, and I'm putting like tapes and CDs on consignment or whatever. And I'm doing that for like 2 days, and the guy, I guess he met with the guy and he bought some, you know, some CDs or whatever. And then I come back to the motel we're staying at, and he says to me when I walk in, he's like, we got a phone call today. Yeah, from some doctor. And I'm like, some doctor? He's like, yeah, he said his name. Now, Marky is like a jokester, and he was like, yeah, some doctor.